Hey everybody, it is your girl Kymmy Coco. I am here with Tia. Hey TT. Okay, I don't want to be too informal because she is a very dear friend of mine, one of my best friends, but I'm going to let you guys borrow her because there's a lot going on and there's a lot of information that's being exchanged, and I really want people to have a general overview of how long we're going to have to be dealing with some of these things, because what the government and what the scientists and what everyone is saying is that, until we get down the line scientifically of a treatment or a vaccine or something, we're going to be in this kind of some stage of lockdown, right? So I was talking to her. She's super duper smart. I'm going to give her a formal introduction, and then we could talk and be friends later. But Tia Simmons, she's the head of Regvue, Regulatory Compliance Consultants, which provides global compliance support for patient research, laboratory testing, and drug manufacturing activities for clinical trials conducted in the USA, in Europe, Asia Pacific, and Africa. So she'll have a broader perspective, and she'll give us some insight as to how things work in as far as in the drug game, the pharmaceutical game. She has over 25 years of experience working in the research industry with a focus on drug safety and quality compliance prior to commercialization. So kind of in layman's terms, Tia, explain to people what that means, what you do.
Definitely. So what it means is that whatever is provided to you or provided to the public to treat any type of ailment or any condition that you may have, it must first go through a drug development process. And when it does that, when it does go through the drug development process, there are individuals like myself that ensures the compliance of that process is appropriate and sufficient so that the quality and safety of that product has been at least verified and confirmed with real data, from individuals that actually have taken that product.
Um, Let me get my screens in order here, because I want people to kind of see what that looks like as far as what you do. So there she is. Reg Regvue Compliance Consultants. Okay, so now everyone knows what that means. Okay, so what is involved in developing a new drug?
Dish as we know it. Just people looking for different products to see what different ailments it could possibly cure. And they do this at a very small scale, using different types of cells and genes and just testing against that product. Once they identify something that appears to be impactful and treat or kill that particular item they were testing against, they present that particular compound to the regulatory authority to begin to test that compound in human subjects. When this happens, you'll see along this line, there is different phases. So that drug discovery and that preclinical phase is where they test it in a petri dish. And then they also test it on animals, specifically maybe rats or bugle dogs, to cure that ailment. And they kind of more so are scaling up what they identified when it was in a petri dish or whenever it was in a smaller animal. So a normal process for drug development can take up to 15 years. If the drug is already developed, and I'm going to use something like Advil that everyone knows of. If they use Advil and they say, you know what, we think that Advil from our laboratory test can kill COVID-19, where you see preclinical and phase one, that will go away because we all know how safe Advil is, right? We know about Advil, we use it. So you don't have to do that research. Research and phase one and preclinical is to confirm that it's safe in a human. So now you've taken off about what, 7 or 8 years right there. So they're going to move right into phase 2 or phase 3, where you're actually going to the patient population that has this particular ailment and you're treating it with this investigational product. When you do that, they take the FDA review. You see how I was on the end? They move that FDA review under the clinical trial. So when they do that, you're looking at about a half of year to 2 years.
Okay, so we don't have to be sitting here for 6 or 7 years working from home.
No,
Hopefully.
no,
Okay.
no, no. And
All right. So right now, the first thing that people are going for are treatments.
yes,
Sort of like, cold medicine or flu medicine, or just something that will reduce the symptoms or the time of the symptoms.
yes, and also save those lives, because as you can see, it's deadly. So treatment is really the most important right now.
Okay, and then treatment to relieve symptoms and then vaccines to prevent. So that those are the things that we're striving and we're hoping for. And every day you see new companies that are working on those things. And from my perspective, coming from a financial services background, when you look at the stock market, those companies that are in those phases of development for treatment and they're racing to whoever gets the treatment first, and those are the companies that people are, as I like to say, as far as stock market goes, like betting, so to speak, on those companies, just to give you the economical um part of that, what we see every day. And you'll hear people, the government, or whenever they make those announcements, talk about that. All right, so how long before there's an approved vaccine or cure?
So you can go to the next slide too, actually. I'm thinking that, this really, by the time it was identified in the US, it had already been alive and thriving in Asia, right? So that was back in November or December. So if it takes a half of year to a year to identify or get new approval using the fast track designation, I would say we can have something as soon as the fourth quarter of 2020.
Wow. Awesome.
Right? And then if they fall behind and maybe some of these drugs prove not to be effective, so they're not approved, then at the most, for first quarter of 2021.
Okay. So, and then the next thing on the slide says, until then.
Yeah, so until then, we need to continue to do what we're doing: social distancing, keeping washing your hands, disinfecting as much as possible, and just being aware of what's going on. And if you're sick, go out and get treatment, because honestly, the amount of people that are ill are needed to find the treatment, which is kind of weird, right? But you need people to have the illness to be able to test the product on them to get the drug to market. So all those people that have illness, it would be great to know about them so that it'll help us get to that endpoint faster. Some people see COVID-19 as a stigmatism, right? You're in the store, somebody coughs, everyone looks at them, so nobody wants to have COVID-19. But what people don't understand is that in order for us to find a cure and a treatment, we need those individuals in the clinics getting treatment and be utilizing some of these new treatments to see if they work. So ironically, having COVID-19, you may actually have an impact in the world by actually going out and letting people know, I have it, what treatments do you have, and actually making a difference.
Oh.
So my last point that I want to make, which is very, very important, because I know there's a lot of, that whole conspiracy theorist piece, and we never know how much of that is actually true, right? So to kind of, I tell people all the time to maintain your sanity, and a lot of people have anxiety from this, or uncertainty, or they're scared for their children, or different things, or their parents, or people that are in vulnerable populations. What I say is make sure that you consider the source when you read information on COVID-19. Utilize proven sources. They may not always be as accurate, but at least you can possibly depend on the data you're receiving. And I'm not referring to news outlets either. I'm referring to places like CDC, who tracks human health issues across the United States, or the who is the World Health Organization for the entire world, and they track metrics as well. And in the United States, FDA.gov, because they can let you know if a treatment is actually approved or not. You know, sometimes people sell things online. I saw something today, or take vitamin C and it all goes away. And that may be true, but you want to make sure that it is tested appropriately and investigated. Because, you know, high doses of vitamin C can be very deadly as well. So just utilizing some of these websites, and I provided them on the slide so individuals can access them. Be very considerate of your source, and also how you share information, right? Because it all starts with us. If we start sharing negative information, we start sharing information that we have not verified, it's kind of like that wheel, a telephone line. By the time it gets to the end, you know, vitamin C is it? And I saw it on the FDA website. You know what I mean? So just being careful with that. And if you have any additional concerns, or you want to ask more about research, or learn more about clinical research or compliance, feel free to contact us at Regvue LLC at Gmail. We'll be glad to give you information. Totally free service. Just we just want to make sure we're doing our part of educating people, you know, and stopping the panic of, like, you know, buying a lot of toilet tissue or stuff like that.
Yes, friend, that was awesome. I could take
Oh,
off my
thanks.
professional
Okay.
hat for a second. Yeah, so
No, this is
that's good.
great. This is
So
great.
definitely keep us informed. You can be, I mean, if you don't mind us, kind of hitting you up again, maybe in a couple months to see if there's any new revelations or any new information, or hopefully we have an approved treatment and you can kind of like, let us know, because I think that's what we're all waiting for, right? Like, I think people will be more able to go out, and it'll relieve some of that anxiety once we have a treatment, something, because people are really suffering.
Yes, I agree. And definitely, like I said, my ear is always to the streets. A lot of the data that you've seen that I've shown here on the screen is data just received from the streets, kind of being out there, looking at all the publications, checking company websites, following up with FDA. This is part of my day-to-day job, because of the legalities of everything, and compliance is directly related to the regulations of this country and other countries. I have to stay abreast of everything that's going on, from TV all the way to the true regulations. So I can definitely provide those updates.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, how are you doing though? I mean, you guys, you're in a different state. So, is your state handling it well? Or your numbers kind of elevating, leveling off, going down?
Yes, we hit the peak already. So we're kind of leveling off with new cases. We're still on a stay at home, and then I still cannot travel. So another thing about this is, my job is like 50% travel. So I have been working from home and everything, which I already work from home because I travel a lot. But I mean, a lot of people are just stuck in their houses and working from home here, and still under state order until the 6th of May.
How about school? Are you guys homeschooling? How is that going?
Yes, we are homeschooling. So I'm actually using Ava's homeschooling equipment, which is great because it's really vivid. She spends a lot of time online with her teachers, and she really wants to see the teacher. So just using this iPad has better visibility. So it's working out. It's a difference, it's a change. But the problem is, I really want the world to open back up, because part of my job, like I said, requires travel, and can't travel if we're homeschooling and the daycares are closed. So I think just for the economy overall, we're all just looking forward to moving forward.
In the meantime, just wash your hands, keep social distancing, and just stay home as much as you can. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. I know here in Georgia, they've opened up the barbershops, the massage parlors, the gyms. Why, I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, it's just up to us to make an individual decision to protect our families. And we owe it to our families and our friends and our future to obey those guidelines, and just be extra. Just, do it even if you think you're doing too much, because people talk about me all the time. I'm not going anywhere for anybody. So, we just trying I'll see you on the phone if you want to see me. Other than that, once they get these treatments and these cures hooked up, I'll see y'all then. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna call you, just to have our sister girl chat later on. I really appreciate your expertise,
Yes.
knowledge, and all the times that we couldn't hang out because you had work to do. Look at it, all paid off because now you are the person that I have to go to ask what's going on.
Listen, together, it's all of us together, like you said, are going to make a difference. Everybody in the expertise area, you guys with, having a show where you can reach out to people. I think, like you'll notice from this, a lot of people don't even know this role exists, right? They don't know someone's doing this, but it's because of what you do and getting that information out there is going to really educate the people. So I think all of us working together is definitely going to make a difference during this pandemic.
Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much. Like Tia said, you can reach her. Let me show that slide again with the information. If you want to make sure that you're getting the right information, let me see if I can share it. If you want to make sure you're getting the right information from a credible source, that you need to go. You check out the CDC website, right? No, it was the FDA's website. ClinTrials.gov. Oh yeah, it is the CDC website too. And then if you just want to have someone kind of explain more or see what's going on, you hit Tia up at Tia Simmons at Regvue. Is it LLC? Yes, Regvue LLC at gmail.com.
Give me a call and we can talk about, what it takes to do this type of role. It does not take what people think it does. You just have to be nosy. If you're
Oh,
nosy and you like to investigate, let us know and we'll definitely tell you what it takes and how to get started in this type of role.
awesome. All right. Thank you, Tia.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You